Okay, so next on the agenda, we have a planned affordable housing development at 525 North Capitol Avenue, presented by Mike King and Cristelle Blackford, and I believe there are other team members. And Mike, I'll hand it off to you.
Thanks so much, Juan, and thanks so much for having our team here today. We really relish the opportunity to share with your members and residents of the East Side and District 5 of San Jose this project, and start to get an idea of the questions and thoughts that folks have about the vision that we're going to present. Cristelle Blackford, as you mentioned, my colleague at Civic Makers, she's not able to join us tonight, but I am joined by Sarah Amadzai from David Baker Architects and Yaneth Cien Solis from Community Development Partners. So Community Development Partners is the developer on this project, and David Baker Architects is the architect team. So I'll just maybe hand it to Sarah and Yaneth real briefly just to say hello before we kick off our presentation.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for inviting us to your meeting today. Excited to share with you our initial designs for this site. Excited to be a part of the neighborhood soon.
Hi, everyone. Yaneth here. Also very excited to share with everyone the project that we're developing. We are super excited to be building in San Jose. So we really hope that we get great feedback and yeah, and you guys like the project.
Thanks, Sarah and Yaneth. So without further ado, I'll start to kind of provide as much information as we currently have about our design plans and who we think will be future tenants of this development. We're very excited about it. And because I know that a lot of folks will be watching this later on at home, I'll try to pause on a lot of these slides so that folks have plenty of time to really digest the information and think about, what that means to them. Okay, so I'm sharing my deck. Hopefully everybody can see that. So the address is 525 North Capitol Avenue on the eastern side of San Jose. And based on this aerial photograph, you can see the site is in red towards the center of the picture. And Gemelli Way is to the north. McKee Road is to the south. And to the west is Highway 680. Folks that are familiar with this area, and this is within District 5, so hopefully a lot of folks watching will be, you can see that the Capitol Square Mall is almost across the street from our site location, and the McKee VTA train station is just down the road on Capitol Ave. So there are a number of grocery and shopping amenities nearby. There's also a number of developments to the west and to the north surrounding this site. And for folks that know this area well, you probably also know lots of schools and libraries nearby as well. So a number of public services and amenities. This is an aerial sketch that our architect team has put together to give you a sense of what this development might look like. As you can see, we're envisioning a development that sort of fits in with the look and the feel of the surrounding housing in that particular tract. So really trying to make sure that we bring something that fits the look and the feel of the existing neighborhood. This next rendering shows the front of the building on Capitol Avenue and gives you a sense of the great window placement, the trees, and just the overall aesthetic that we're imagining. This is an up-close sketch of the entryway. We imagine ample sidewalks, vegetation, great opportunities for walking and for folks to to be comfortable moving around outside of the building.
I can jump in here too, maybe Mike. So we're imagining an open air entrance to the building, and we always make an effort to activate that ground floor. So as neighbors, when you're walking by, it's not just a blank wall or anything like that, but we intentionally locate, the community room, any sort of office space and computer labs. This program like that, where people will be walking in and out, there's activity, it's engaging. That's what we like to focus on the ground floor. So it's not a blank wall at all. And we have these active stairs. That's what you see in the center of the screen as well, to encourage people to use stairs and be active and whatnot in the building.
Thanks, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a sketch of the Paseo that's available on the side of the building. So we see this as a great sort of public recreation area, ample space possibly for outdoor programming, possibly arts programs, but certainly space that tenants and the surrounding community could use to recreate on a nice sunny day. And this is a sketch of the courtyard that's imagined. So this courtyard would be sort of facing Capitol Avenue, but open air and allow entry for residents and be another place, an outdoor space that tenants could occupy and use to recreate and to enjoy a little bit of the good weather that's available. In terms of the future tenant mix that we're targeting for this development, we're looking at 160 units overall, with a majority of those being studios and 1-bedrooms, and a number of 2-bedrooms and 3-bedrooms as well. We have 40 designated as permanent supportive housing units for formerly homeless or chronically homeless households, and another 25 set aside for homeless veterans using FASH vouchers. And then the remaining 93 units would be 100% general affordable. So that's between 30% of 30% and 60% of area median income, with about half of the units overall in the 30% low income range. And so what this means, given the relatively high area median income of San Jose, is that the folks we anticipate who will qualify for these units could be restaurant workers, other folks in the hospitality industry, could be construction workers, police officers, firefighters, nurses, teachers. So a lot of the folks that we know that are part of our families that we see on a regular basis and make our lives and days enjoyable. These are the kind of folks that would have access and be living in these units down the road. So we're excited about that. We think this is a great opportunity to provide much needed housing for the folks that need it in San Jose. Just to give folks a sense of our development timeline for this project, this is part of a community engagement an outreach effort in which we're really trying to bring our designs out to the community, understand the questions that folks have, what they support, what they might have concerns about. And so this meeting is certainly a big part of that. And we have done some things over the last few months, including a design workshop in which we brought together community-based organizations from the neighborhood to provide input on what kinds of services should be provided out of the ground floor commercial space of this development. And we're excited by the fact that we are in early but focused conversations with Vegelution, who's a local nonprofit community farm in the area, and there's designs for them to have a commercial kitchen and food distribution site out of the ground floor. And that's one of the things that we heard in our conversations with local nonprofits is sorely needed in the area is access to fresh, healthy foods. And so that's part of what has come out of the engagement so far. We're going to be doing an accessible design workshop here in a couple of weeks on May 5th, where we're having persons with the lived experience of living with disabilities, as well as disability advocates, join us to provide insight into how we can make the development more accessible for all residents in the future. And then one of the things that we really want to highlight for the group today is a community meeting that we're going to be doing on May 26th, which will be open to the public. And we certainly want that to be, just as this is an opportunity for the whole community and folks that are interested to come out, learn about the project, ask questions, and help us make sure that this is a community that's ultimately well integrated into the neighborhood and something that adds to the quality of life for everybody nearby. In addition to that community engagement, we just wanted to share some of kind of the milestones along the way of getting to starting construction. So the development team is going to submit their entitlements package very soon. Just this coming week is when we're set to do that. And we expect approval of that package sometime in late August. And that will put us on pace to start construction sometime at the end of this year. And so we're excited about that timeline and that this is something that, given this lead up, we hope that we'll be done with construction and leasing up sometime in 2025. This sketch provides a sort of blueprint of the ground floor space. As I mentioned, there's a community serving retail space that you can see in the center of the diagram, where we anticipate that Vegilution will be providing services. There's also room and designs for a community room, as well as a lobby and resident services offices on this floor, and then 94 parking stalls. So lots of parking, bike parking as well, that is available on the ground floor. I don't know if you have anything you want to add, Sarah. You're very, you know these drawings intimately. So anything that you'd like to highlight?
That's a good summary of the highlights. I do want to explain that there is an existing wall at the bottom. If you're looking at this page, the bottom between our site and the market rate condos below, across Beachnet Street. So that's why we've decided to tuck our parking into that corner, because we didn't have an opportunity to respond to the market rate condos next to us because they have a wall that's built there. So that's the purpose behind facing the parking there. There wouldn't actually be any interaction between the garage there. It'll be covered and screened and whatnot. There's no noise or fumes or anything between us and the market rate condos there. But yeah, Mike did cover all the highlights of the ground floor plan.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Sarah. As I mentioned earlier, the Paseo, that outdoor space, you can see on the left side of this diagram, between the building and parking for a commercial building across the way there. So just to give you a sense of where some of those features are located, you can also see the courtyard that connects the community room with the community retail space. So we also see that as potentially a space where there could be sort of outdoor events and dining for residents, as well as the surrounding community. We also wanted to provide a sketch of the upper floor, the residential areas will look like. And so, as I said before, majority of the units are 1 bedrooms and studios. So you can kind of see how those are built in to the blueprint. and where the 3 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms are located as well. Wondering, Sarah, if there's anything here as well that you'd like to highlight.
Yeah, I can just add that as you can see, we have 2 courtyards on the upper level as well. So that those are additional spaces for the residents to enjoy with seating and gardens and whatnot. So this is just up on the 2nd level. We have that the first level with the lobby and the garage and whatnot. So up on the 2nd level, we have these podium courtyards. And then altogether, it's a 4-story building. So we're at 45 feet tall.
Okay. Fantastic. Thanks, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
We, as part of our community engagement, have done a lot of inventorying of surrounding assets in the neighborhood, and really as a way to understand how to best build partnerships and integrate the development into the surrounding area, and think about ways in which we can support future tenants to be able to get their groceries, to get access to medical care, healthcare, and other amenities. And so as part of that work, we've been mapping sort of what's within a reasonable walking and biking distance of the development. And we're happy to see that there's a nearby park, the Delano Monongs Park. Like I had mentioned earlier, lots of shopping within biking and walking distance, a number of schools for the small families that will be a part of this development, and a number of other amenities as well. And in those conversations that we had with local organizations to provide input into this development and to build relationships with folks that are living and doing important work in this neighborhood, we've really enjoyed getting to know all of these organizations. We've also had conversations with local elected officials, Magdalena Carrasco and Otto Lee. But we certainly wanted to highlight some of the folks that members of District 5 United might be aware of. We recognize that the Blanca Alvarado Community Resource Center is right across the street as part of the Capitol Square Mall. So we certainly want to make sure that we're aligning our services that we're providing out of the building with what they're offering the community. And same thing with other service providers like Amigos de Guadalupe and Catholic Charities, which are also in the neighborhood. And so, it's been, just fantastic to build these relationships and to know that we have the support of a lot of these institutions that are close by and doing such great work in the neighborhood. That's what we wanted to share today, and hopefully we have time for Q&A. I noticed there's at least one in the Q&A chat, but as we have kind of been saying throughout, this is a really great opportunity for us to hear from neighbors and residents in the D5 area, and know what you're thinking about as you see the designs for this development at 525 North Capitol Avenue. We're all ears, and we want to hear both the excitement and the potential concerns that local residents have. So I'll pause there, and we can jump into Q&A one.
I wanted to correct myself too. I'm sorry, when I said 4 stories, I questioned myself and I checked my drawings. It's 5 stories. I just wanted to correct myself before that goes too far. My fault.
Thanks, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we do have one question from Trudy. And Trudy, I didn't know if you wanted to go on screen. I'll give it another, or maybe stop sharing and then we can go back to it as necessary. I can tell if. So I'll go ahead and read Judy's comment because I don't see her. People obviously have the option to show their video or not. She says, kindly confirm that the tree species will achieve a height to provide ample canopy.
Yeah, I can take that question, although I'm not the expert on trees and the different species, but we do have a landscape architect on board who is providing their expertise to the team, and they are the ones picking out the specific species and whatnot. So I was looking back at what he last sent me. There are a couple London plane trees, ginkgo trees, and a handful of other ones, but I can't speak to the specifics of what the final canopy size is of each of those trees. But because we are coordinating early, we are making sure that there's ample space for the roots and everything to grow in a healthy way. They're not crammed into tiny boxes as we see sometimes. I hope that answers your question.
All right. And then my comments are, I think it's great. There's at least 3 grocery stores nearby, right? If you count Target. And I'm familiar with the area. And so the schools are pretty close. I think you could actually go past Target to get there as opposed to going around. And I didn't realize that park was there. That must be a fairly new park. Now I want to go drive and check it out. Yeah, it's brand new. And it's next door, it looks like, right? You just, that's amazing that there's a park right next door. So let's see if they're, all in all, it looks like you put a lot of effort into this, and there's a lot of amenities nearby. And the middle school is next to the elementary school. So yeah, it's a great scenario, it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just want to highlight, if you would be receptive, Juan, we, like I said, we have that community meeting coming up where we want to engage an even broader section of the neighborhood and the east side of San Jose, and get their thoughts about the project. And if you'd be receptive, we would love it if you could share with your membership information about that meeting, and we would love for folks to come and join us then as well.
Sure. And then I think I did have a couple more comments. And the light rail is there, and I realize it goes to almost Eastridge, will go to Eastridge, and also goes to the Great Mall. So that's pretty convenient. I did have a question, only because I'm not familiar. I know that some of the units are for those formerly unhoused, and I just wondered, is there a minimum income or not? I'm not familiar with how that works.
There's no minimum. There's so it's 30% AMI or below. So
got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no minimum.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for presenting. I don't see other questions.
I think I see a hand raised from the participants, but I don't know how to talk to that person.
Let me see. Thank you for pointing that out. Let's see. So Robert, I'm promoting you to panel, so you'll be able to share your audio and video in just a second if you'd like. And if not, then I will go ahead and read your, well, I can't read your question. There you are, Robert.
I hope
you're ready.
Hi, Robert. Yep, we can hear you.
I think it's absolutely wonderful that you are meeting with the community prior to filing your plan with the city. And I think it's absolutely wonderful that you are exceeding the city's minimum requirements for community engagement. My idea was, and it's not just this development, but it's what's happening in San Jose. We're not producing family housing. So when I look at the 8 units of the 3 bedrooms and look at that being at the 60% AMI, and I'm looking at how the studios are at the ends of the 2 bedrooms, can you rethink? Is there something the city can do? Is there something the state can do? Is there something that the county can do to help help us and produce more family housing? Can we increase the number, the 8 of the family housing? Can we put the 8 in at 30% AMI? You're doing what the city expects. I don't think the city reflects on the size of the units, but it'll really be unfortunate if in this era and this period of time that we don't get some serious emphasis on getting housing for families. You've got a great site and a great location.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. I don't want to cut you off if there's more that you wanted to share.
No, the purpose of the meeting is to take ideas and try to incorporate them into your plans.
That's
And
right.
we have a couple of additional opportunities to do so and to rethink. And I know you know how important this is.
We do, and we've heard that same feedback from other interested residents and stakeholders. And I don't know if there's anything, Yaneth, that you would want to speak to as far as the constraints and the financing around that, or what might be possible. But we certainly have heard it, and we're I think doing everything we can to see if we can increase the number of 3-bedroom units, as that has come up a number of times in our conversations.
Yeah, so what I can say is that we've tried to balance kind of including family units and including supportive housing units. A lot of funding sources do right now tend to kind of prioritize supportive housing because there's such a high need for homeless, chronically homeless. And those units tend to be smaller, tend to be the studios and the 1-bedrooms, which is why you see those there. We're hoping that the 2 bedrooms and the 8 bedrooms, and actually the 8 bedrooms were added in order to have more family units in the building. But unfortunately, like stacking things around and moving the plans, we have limitations. And maybe Sarah can speak a little bit more to that. But yeah, it's just been trying to balance kind of 2 needs at the same time. So the supportive housing component and adding family units. And we did our best to include as much as we could in this development, but for sure, and other, we'll definitely take your comment as we, develop other sites, because we would like to, pursue other sites in San Jose and definitely focus more on family housing.
Yeah, absolutely. It almost slipped my mind, but not more than 2-3 months ago, we had 0 3-bedrooms in the project, and it was feedback from the community to add more. And so we were able to push and pull. I think we might have lost a couple to squeeze in those larger units, the 3-bedroom stacks. So we went from 0 to 8, and I don't know if there's any opportunity to increase that based on the financing and all the behind the scenes work that Yaneth's team has to do to get this project built, have the funds to build it. So 8 might be the sweet spot right now, but it's definitely noted that it's a problem that needs to be addressed as soon as possible, having more affordable family housing.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks, Robert.
And that reminds me, how many 1 and 2 bedroom? I know there were a lot of studios, but how many 1 and 2 bedrooms were there? I can't recall.
There's around 60 of both 1-bedrooms and studios, so 60 each, so 120 altogether. So it's around 2/3 of the 160 total units are studios and 1-bedrooms.
And the reason I ask is I think from a prior presentation, and tell me if this is also the case, that those units can also use the living room. And so the maximum occupancy is higher than you might expect. Is that true? Like how many people can live in a 2-bedroom?
Yaneth, do you guys control that? Or because sometimes it's the property manager, sometimes
It would be the city's allowable.
Okay.
I want to say it's 1.5 per room or something like that. Do you know, Sarah?
I don't know.
I don't know off the top of our head.
Right. So I think those were all the questions, and I want to thank you also for coming and presenting information tonight. And I hope you have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Yeah, really appreciate it, Juan, and we look forward to continuing to engage with District 5 United around this project.
Okay. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.